Thank, thank you, Ted. We start by offering our humble pranams to Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and we ask for his loving guidance and his blessings in this wonderful work of the panel today. Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. That's a tough act to follow, Ted. I wish I could be like you when I grow up, but right now my job is to speak the least and listen the most. So with that, let me get started. We have 14 or 15 questions here, and these are very good questions, and I hope we get through all of them today as we go through. We have an excellent panel here, so I'll start with the first one without further ado. I am a brand new devotee of Bhagavan. I've been into some other spiritual path before. My goal is to achieve/seek peace of mind and moksha, liberation from karma. Please provide me guidance. Let me see if the ladies' side, anybody would like to answer it? Repeat? Yes, let me repeat the question. I'm a brand new devotee of Bhagavan. I have been in some other spiritual path before, and my goal is to seek peace of mind and achieve moksha or liberation from karma. Please provide me further guidance. This sounds like a perfect question for Sharon.
No,
anybody?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. You or Jody, if anybody. It's on,
Well,
Sharon.
this is a pretty good one for me because it was actually cataclysmic when Sam went to India and came home saying, God is on earth. You're God, I'm God, everything is God. And now our lives are going to change dramatically. It was just overwhelming. And, you know, Westerners here in 1972, no email, no videos, not even books, no information about Sai Baba. He just happened to meet Indra Devi and then heard about it, and he was on the plane, came back transformed. I wouldn't say he was rowdy. He was never rowdy. He was always loving, but he became more loving. He became more peaceful. He became calmer. The motorcycle went out the door. The fast car, Porsche, was traded in for a Jeep and everything. But mainly he became more peaceful, and so I wanted that peace, like this person was writing. I wanted what he had. It was very foreign to me. So I think that I would advise this person to do what I did. I never let go of Baba's feet, although it took me 13, almost 14 years to actually see his divinity, his glory, his magnificence. He finally gave me an experience. And I had interviews with him, and I still didn't experience it. I still know that he loved me, that he was me. I just didn't understand. It took me, but whoever this person is, and you're new like I was, and I was overwhelmed, and I didn't ever think about moksha because I didn't even know what it was, and I still don't, and I don't aspire to that because I don't understand it. But peace of mind is so valuable, and if you read all the things that Amrit was told in our little skit that people were saying, excuse me, read his words, think of it, incorporate it. And be active with Baba. Don't hang back. He doesn't say stick your head in the sand. He says go out. It's in your interaction with people that you see, you can test yourself and see the love that will come back to you when you offer it. It may take 12 or 13 years or more or less, or it may just happen like that. But Baba will come to you. But he will give you, his words are so beautiful, so precious, so uplifting, and so simple. So just do what I did. Hang on. He will come. He will show it. He will give you that peace. Don't worry about moksha. He says don't think about that thing that's way out there. Just think of day to day living in peace and equanimity. Jay. Sai Ram.
Thank you. Jody?
This is a very nice question, and it's nice to know that there are new devotees coming to Sai Baba. he tells us, for whomever this is, he tells us that you can't know a mountain until you've seen one. You can't look at a rock from a mountain and understand what a mountain is unless you've experienced it. He tells us to immerse ourselves in him, dive deep, and immerse oneself in the experience of Sai Baba. It will be the greatest pleasure of your life. Excuse me. There are books, films. Sojourns is lots of fun and a good way to wet your feet in Sai devotees' experiences. After a while, you'll recognize the similarities in them, and you'll begin to understand what this personality was like, what his humor was like, his immense magnetism. And I think that if peace of mind is the goal, what Viru said last night, or night before last at Sandwise's, was stay at his feet. I envision myself with my forehead on those sweet little feet, and I try to stay there. That was a really nice pointer, and great for a beginner as well. There's lots of material to enjoy.
I would add one little thing, that come to these events. They're precious, really. There's a wonderful, I won't read the whole poem, but there's a beautiful poem when he says, talks about devotees dancing in ecstasy, praising God's glory, and devotees coming, giving discourses and serving delicious food and singing with adoration. And it just connects with our soul and it lifts us up to interact with other devotees. These are really precious events. He even says, the rest of the days are dead days. What else can I say? What else? Oh, pious members of this august assembly. He says this, so coming here, come to any event that you can and try to be active in it, and you will begin to feel, the light will be kindled in you.
Thank you, Dr.
Like that.
Anyway, so the drama they had in San Diego that answers a lot of that question, how you want to have peace. It was covered very well. One is sing songs, like they were doing the bhajans, that will give you joy and peace. And second thing, they were talking about service. Some people get involved in helping others. That is, you get out of your person, your ego goes down. Third thing you were talking about is daily dive deep into God's words. That is what, these are all you covered in your drama. And fourth important is recollecting your divine experiences, your interactions with God. So this way you get connected with God. That gives real joy and peace. But really, it will be incomplete to say, I want peace. All of you know the answer. How do you get it? Remove I, remove want, you will get peace. So first is the obstacle is our desires and ego, I. So if you remove those two, automatically we have peace. What kind of peace? Peace that passeth understanding, as Jesus said. That is why our Shantinilayam is not called Shantinilayam. Shantinilayam means abode of peace. It is called Prashantinilayam. That is abode of supreme peace, not an ordinary peace which can fleet away. So if we have the supreme peace, we need to get rid of our desires, that causes agitation, whatever we do, and then we need to get rid of our ego, which he was talking about, the greatest obstacle. For that, how to get rid of the ego, how to get rid of the desires, these four techniques. Sing bhajans, sing songs, dive deep into Swami's teachings, go and do service. Fourth is recollect the wonderful divine experiences. This is the way. And second aspect, liberation. That's very important. We all think we want liberation, right? So I remember my daughter was 9 years old, and we had an interview with Swami. Swami said, everybody, what do you want? She said, Swami, I want liberation right now. She said, right now. That too, she doesn't know what, a lot of us don't know what liberation means. So Swami said, she laughed, yes, yes, yes. So then she has to get married, she has to have children, so many things. Sometimes we use the word liberation. And one time, I think Kasturi or Hislop was joking, some Westerner wanted, Swami, I want liberation. Swami says, come tomorrow, I will give it. Then guy never showed up. That means he will be gone. So this is, and some people use the word, I want Swami, I want to merge with you. And Swami, one devotee, Swami was telling, I was there that time. He was big, and Swami is little. Swami said, you are so big, I'm so little, how can you merge in me? So this is, we need to take liberation. Is liberation from what? Liberation from bondage. Because we are all bound thinking we are this body and mind. Till we transcend that body-mind consciousness, we are going to be bound. So for that, how do you do moksha? Another word they use called moksha. Moha chaya. That means the delusion that we are this body, mind, intellect. Till it is gone, we are never liberated. So all our spiritual practices, let it be service, let it be bhajan singing, let it be study of Swami's teaching, study circle, only one purpose, to get rid of the delusion that I am this body, mind, intellect complex, that I am the pure love. That is the whole purpose is that. If we don't realize that, our life is waste, Swami says. So that is the summary of what those two important things. As I said, somebody said, I'm not a devotee of Baba. Don't say everybody is devotee of God, whether you accept this form or not. As Biru said, all names, all forms are only His. Let it be Bernice, let it be Sharon, me, you. There is nothing but what exists is only divinity, all the names and forms. So don't think you are not devotee of God. We are all devotees of God of different forms, whether you believe in Swami or not. I can here also relate to a story about book center of Satsai Book Center in Tustin. So they had a problem with the air conditioning. Is Vasanthi here? So they were replacing the air conditioning unit. And then everybody was on vacation. The laborers were coming and fixing it. And so the air conditioning job was done. After it is done, so that man, the guy who finished the contract, told the manager, so your boss was coming and checking every day how things are going. Who is the boss? They showed that Swami. My God, Swami was coming and making sure the air conditioning unit, everything was done well. Then she felt bad. We are doing service in the book center all the time. He never gave the darshan, but he gave it to somebody who never even knew about Swami. Then I happened to go after a few weeks to Prashanti Nilayam. I was going with Swami, and Swami said, what else? I said, Swami, these people are telling you gave darshan to a non-devotee, but devotees you didn't give darshan. And Swami became very stern. How do you know they are not my devotees? So we think somebody believes in this form. Anybody lover of God, living a pure life, they are devotees of God, whether this form or another form. It is not important. This form beautiful, but all forms really we should be convinced is His. So that is my thoughts. Viru, you want to add?
Uncle, you have said everything. Just one thing is that, as you say, we should be ready. We should really want it. I remember as youth, we used to ask Swami for interviews and everything else. And so after a lot of drama, he would call us for an interview. And as he is entering, he would say, until Sai Baba gives an interview, everybody is hankering and saying, Swami, I want an interview, I want an interview. The moment you are sat down and I'm coming, you're saying, Swami, please don't reveal this about me. Please don't reveal that about me. He knows the innermost desire that we have got. I think for moksha, as Uncle had said, there's nothing new or old for Swami. And the other thing is what I learned is if I want something, I have to aspire for it. I have to yearn for it. I have to yearn with my heart, mind, body, and soul. Then it will be mine. He will give it, but I have to yearn for it. He knows how intense the desire is. He knows how genuine and sincere that desire is. If that is the case and we are ready for it, He will give it. So if anybody, any one of us want to take up this challenge and say, I want mukti now, then let's be very sincere about it and we'll get it now.
And as Swami has said, you take one step towards me, I'll take 100 steps towards you. So whoever is taking that step first, you have to make that effort yourself, as you said. And then the one point that Dr. Reddy said is very important for us. There are no such things as non-devotees. We are those who have found Swami and those who are going to find Swami later on. These are the two types. You have to come to Him at some point or the other, hopefully now, not later. Thank you. The next question is, can you clarify divine grace versus self-effort? Ladies first. Let me repeat the question. Can you clarify what is divine grace versus self-effort? Self-effort.
Self-effort versus divine grace. Looks like Bernice is excited. She wants to answer. You want to answer that? But she was laughing from there, enjoying. Yes.
It's good you asked the ladies first, because if I had heard everyone else speak, I'm sure I would say nothing. But I will tell you how I think of it. My feeling is that, and many people will disagree, which is fine, is that Swami's love is everywhere and infinite, and that is grace. And the effort, we don't need to earn it. We are it. We are in Him, one with Him. We are love. So there's no, it's forthcoming like the sunshine if it's shone 24 hours a day. This is my feeling about grace, Swami's love. The personal effort comes in for us to accept it and use it for personal transformation, so that we begin to act like who we really are, feel like who we really are, and treat everyone else like who we really are, all of us. So that's my take on divine grace. It's pervasive, it is infinite, and it's our right to accept it. And it's a full-time job to learn how. We're so hung up on various fears, desires. The ego gets in the way, but it's there. That's my feeling.
Well, I agree that grace, even when it hurts, it's good for us. Baba had told our daughter when she was complaining about problems, this is good for you. Problems are good for you. But Sam once asked Baba quite a while ago, Baba, the world is in such terrible shape. Will you save the world? You know, it seemed like it was falling apart. And he said, no, the world is good. He said, the mind of man is the problem, the mind of man. But then he also said, half seva, half save. You know, it's as if it's a partnership with God. You know, that we do our part, and actually the joy comes from doing our part, from doing service. It's only in action that we get the joy in a way. You know, we don't, as I said, don't hide your head in the sand, but then God is also always there to save and to serve and to love. And actually, we are God, too. So if you think of it that way, we are the grace, and He is the grace, and we're all of it. But I think it's in putting forth the effort that we get the joy, and that is the grace.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy.
Yeah, that is very, very important, very practical spiritual questions. Self-effort and divine grace. As the lady said, sunshine is everywhere, sunlight is everywhere. But you close all the doors, you don't get it. So you open the door, that is the self-effort. Wind is there everywhere. You blow with the hand fan, then comes, that is the self-effort. And beautifully, as Swami says, you take one step, I will take 100 steps. You shed one tear, I will wipe 100 tears from you. So, this is self-effort. As long as we think we can do something, we should do it. But ultimately, a stage will come when you know everything happens by His will. It is all divine will and divine grace. As Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi said, the whole purpose of self-effort is to know the self-effort will not take you anywhere. It will be only the divine grace. But to reach that point, we need to put the whole intense self-effort. But whatever we believe in, you can't say everything happens by divine grace without putting self-effort. What we believe in, we should. Swami said a beautiful story, I will tell you this. There were two friends. One person said, everything happens by self-effort. We need to work hard to progress. Another said, we don't need to do anything. Everything happens by God's will, God's grace. So they were going together discussing. They were going through a forest. Somebody was stealing, some thieves, and they dropped it. They saw that these guys, police were chasing them. They dropped the treasure. They ran away. This happened to be falling at the feet of these two guys. So they said, you guys are both thieves, and they took them and put them in jail. They are good people. Then they were thinking, now fault of ours, we are in the jail. So then one guy said, self-effort, hey guy, we should do something, put a tunnel underneath, dig a tunnel, get out of this place. He says, no, God will take care, he says. So he put a tunnel, dig the tunnel, he got out of it. He felt happy, went to the town, he ate well and take the food. And he said, oh my God, my friend must be starving. So took the food and brought it back to the friend. He said, you see, self-effort makes a difference. See that, this is that? He says, but I didn't do anything. It came to me. I am here. So depend upon, he believed in self-effort, it happened. He believed in the divine will, it will happen, it came. So God's grace and self-effort, it is always depending upon what stage we are. We have a body, mind, intellect, we need to put a self-effort to do the best we can. Like all this effort you put to put the nice stage, they made the rehearsal for a drama, or whatever it is self-effort. But a stage will come when you see everything is nothing but the divine grace.
Would you like to add anything, Dr. Viru?
It's just some wonderful stories that Swami has given. There's no other thing that I need to add to what Uncle and both of you have said. You know, I see the effort as at least turning my face towards Swami or God. That's the only effort. I'm not talking about any big, you know, I have to go through these rigors or do that or, you know, lift mountains or clear streets or none of that. It's just I have to turn my face towards God. If I do that, then His grace would automatically come upon me. Even those who have sort of at the moment turned away, His grace is there because He's always protecting them all the time. But I feel that we experience that the beauty of that grace, the joy of that grace, and the benefit of that grace much more if we turn our face towards Him. You know, in this elephant story where the elephant is fighting the crocodile, and it fights and fights and fights and tires itself out, and then makes one prayer. It says, "Oh God, come and to my rescue." That was enough for God to move and leave everything that He was doing at the time to the rescue of the devotee. Swami also says, you know, like a mother, if the little child is in a cradle and the mother is next door and the child is not crying, mother is carrying on doing her duty because she thinks, you know, the child is, you know, sleeping. The moment the child starts crying, the mother, wherever she is and whatever she is doing, drops everything, rushes to the rescue of the child. And I feel the connect between self-effort and grace is that the grace is there always, whether you do the effort or not. If you do a little bit of effort, I think you'll get it in ample measure. And who doesn't want God's grace in ample measure? Is there anybody in this room who doesn't want it? So if that's the case, then we should make a little effort, say, I want it, Swami, or I wanted God. You get it.
Yes, but clarification is, as that beautiful story you should read, this is in Bhagavatam, what he said, the fight between the elephant and crocodile, that is the real sign of effort and divine grace. In the beginning, it really fights like we all fight in life, various adverse situations come. Ultimately, Lord, I don't know, I did the best, now you take care. And that is the time real surrender and real grace pours in.
In fact, that is the second verse of the Bhagavad Gita where Arjuna tells Lord Krishna that, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm confused, please enlighten me. Before that point, Krishna was not enlightening him. Krishna was just listening to him. But the real story of the Bhagavad Gita, the Song of Life, starts at that point after the surrender to him. And also in the morning today, Professor Sudhir Bhaskar reminded us of a small Chinnakatha from Swami, where grace is like the radio waves everywhere. But you need to raise the antenna and then tune your radio to receive the grace. So that is your self-effort. Whereas the divine grace, as Swami so nicely put it, is everywhere, all the time. Thank you. We go to the third question now. And I believe Dr. Reddy may be the only one on the panel to answer this one. Can you describe anything about Baba's medical condition and the medical treatment he received before his Mahasamadhi?
Sairam. So, having assumed the human form, the body, Swami, by his very name, people's cancers were cured. He made the lame walk, the blind see. So for teaching us a lesson, that is what my feeling is, that Swami, at the end, his body went through many sufferings. I wouldn't say suffering because he said, actually I was blessed and fortunate to be able to serve Swami when he was admitted in the hospital. There are many doctors, I was one of them. I was able to closely watch him. And he has many organ failures. The people who are the physicians, they will know that the number of organs in the body, the failing, no human being can live for more than a week. So every organ, like the heart, the lungs, the liver, the bone marrow, everything. But Swami is just to demonstrate and so also teach us to wean off from his thinking that he is the body. He repeatedly told us, I am not this body, but we love his beautiful form, we get attached. So to wean us off from that, it took that time to go through that suffering. At least Jesus took only one time to cross, and Swami was there for that many days in the intensive care. But one lesson I could learn from that was when he was in that intense suffering, because as a physician, I can know how much pain it would cause. One of the senior physicians asked Swami, through the boy who is personal attendant of Swami, Swami, do you want any pain medication? Because it's so much painful. Then Swami in Telugu said, tell them, Nenu chala anandanga unnanu, naaku emi baadha ledu. Tell them, I am in bliss, I have no pain. Tell them, I don't need. Let me tell you, brothers and sisters, no human being can tell that. When you are going through that he is in bliss, because he is showing is beyond the body and mind. Even at the end, when like Jesus, when he was on the cross, said, Father, they know not what they do, forgive them. So because he is beyond the body. Similarly, Swami demonstrated that he is not that body, mind, but he is the bliss incarnate. He is the love incarnate, and that is the real message I learned from him. He wants us to go through that stage where we can tell that we are always in bliss, whether physical suffering, mental suffering. That is the one where body point of view, as a physician, I can say that is the most suffering anybody can go through. But Swami said, I am in bliss in that point. There is a great lesson I learned just attending Swami in close quarters.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. The next two questions are related. I will ask both together. What is karma and how to get rid of the karmic bondage? And the next question is, in living our lives, are we repaying our karma or building new ones? So let me repeat the question again. There are two questions here. First is, what is karma and how to get rid of the karmic bondage, which everybody wants here in this room, right now, I guess. And the second question is, in living our lives, are we repaying our karmas, which is past karmas, sanchita karmas, or building new ones, agam karmas? So I open it up, ladies first.
I'm not a person to answer this question. I don't know that I understand karma or the answer to the last question. I will say that when I was listening to a long, very detailed explanation about karma, I got so confused and discouraged. And it came to me very loud and clear, that's also Maya. And since then, and that was not my thought. It wasn't a thought. It was an answer to my distress, I believe. Because it seemed, as I was listening, that I'll never, ever plow through all the karma. How, one can't even contemplate, was how I felt. And the answer came, that's also Maya. Since then, the way I cope with this, and this is probably very unsophisticated and perhaps even wrong, is I don't think about karma. I do the best I can. I try to listen to Swami telling us to be loving, and Namasmarana, and his simple instructions, because simplicity was one of the greatest gifts he gave us, telling us how to live in simple ways, how to, in this Kali Yuga. So I'm not a person to answer any questions about karma, and I know there can be very long, lengthy, detailed answers.
Thank you.
I am blank. If you want me to talk about karma, I just know that action causes reaction. Every action of ours will cause a reaction from whatever it's from another being or another entity, so that we know that if we speak a painful word, we know that it's causing pain. It's going to come back to us. I remember once. Early on, Baba looked at me and said, we were having such a nice interview, and then he looked and said, fighting with husband. No, I'm not fighting with my husband. Oh, maybe a little. Because, not a fight, but I think in the morning I rushed out because I was having having trouble with my wraps and it was like awful painful, and I was rushing out the door. So then Baba said, from a small seed grows a big tree. And that can be interpreted as something bad. If you do a negative, it can explode into huge negatives. You're getting that reaction, and then you're reacting, and then it just builds a horrible conflagration. And also, if you put a seed of peace and love out, you get it back many times. And then it's a constant interaction with the world. And that's how we interact and grind down our ego. So many years later, I asked Baba, how can I become a better person? He said, very playfully, are you fighting with husband? I had been working on it, not to react, not to have this explosive, how we women are. We take everything personally. And then we, react quickly. and here he was telling me, and it wasn't that, it was only in my thoughts even our thoughts. It's hard to control thoughts, but I guess we can, if the negative thoughts comes, we try to make it a positive. We try to bring in a positive thought. Instead of trying to get rid of the bad habit like smoking and thinking about it, you bring in something positive. So the same with our thoughts, I guess. So that's about all I can say, that action, reaction. That's the world. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you. Dr. Reddy?
So actually, that is what the summary is. Without knowledge, that is the real karma, action and reaction. That is the law of gravity. Where whatever action we have, your reaction. This karma, people get confused. Swami says, karma we equate with destiny. Oh, this is my karma, this happened. Karma is not destiny. Karma, literal meaning in Sanskrit is karma means action. That's all. So whatever every one of us is doing karma, only at 3 levels. Nobody is beyond that. Once we are born, we have thoughts, words, and deeds. Whatever we think, whatever we say, whatever we do. That's all is our karma. So we accumulate. If you think good thoughts, if you say good words, if you do good deeds, that is good karma. If you negative thoughts, negative words, negative deeds, Swami says bad karma. That's why even Jesus said that this law of karma is there in all religions. Even Jesus said, as you sow, you reap. What goes around, comes around. Even Lord Buddha, Jainism, everything, this is the law of karma. And Swami says we are all born because of karma. We are all karma janma. Only God is karana janma. He comes with a purpose so that He gets us beyond karma. So what all, number one is, we need to remember, we don't want to get a bad karma. We want to have a good karma. We need to think good, speak good, and do good deeds. And most of the devotees, I think, hopefully we don't do any violent deeds, right? We don't hit others, we don't hurt others. But we can hurt others much more seriously by our words. So Swami says, even if somebody you hit, you may forget, but the hurting words you use, they hurt you for years together. So we should be very careful with the words we speak, sweet and speak. But more powerful than words is thoughts. Thoughts are the most powerful, Swami says. I remember this was in Vrindavan one time we had a closed session with Swami. So the students, he asked, what did you have morning? They have discussion before coming to darshan. Swami, we talked about terrorists. Swami says, you're all terrorists. So students, they're all white-clad, nice boys. I said, my God, Swami says these boys are terrorists, then what about us? So everybody. So then Swami said, you think because you are nicely talking, nice doing, even the thoughts are more powerful than your words. Whenever you think negative thoughts, they hurt people. So the karma, so we have to be careful, self-audit. Am I thinking divine thoughts? Am I saying good words? Am I doing good deeds? But then we are all stuck with karma. What to do with the karma? At least from now on, I will say good deeds, good words, good thoughts. But what happened in my previous life or before? I have no control. I can't undo that. So how to go beyond karma? That was the second question, right? There are only two methods, Swami said. One is divine grace, another is by knowledge. One is path of bhakti, another is jnana. So this happened also for me many years ago. I won't go to the whole story. It will take a long time. We had some family crisis, and Swami pulled us through. I told my daughter in Los Angeles here that, oh, we have to go through our karma. So this is what it is. But Swami's grace. And after a few weeks, we went to Prashanti Nilayam, and I thanked Swami for saving us. Then Swami said, but you said something wrong. I said, Swami, what did I say? You said we have to go through our karma. He says, that is not true. If my grace is there, listen carefully, my grace is there, mountain loads of karma I will burn in a trice. Like mountain of cotton is there, you put a matchstick, is the whole thing ashes. Similarly, if you have divine grace, all our karma is gone in an instant. That is one method. So to divine grace, you sing the song, you have satsang, you do the service. Second, the right royal road is path of jnana. That is why Lord Krishna says, jnanagdi dagda karmanam. Once you know you are the Atma, this karma is only for body, mind and intellect. Atma has nothing, nobody can touch it. Once the minute you realize you are not this body, mind and intellect, you are the Atma, the whole karma is gone. Like just there is all your illusion. So these are the two ways you can transcend beyond the boundaries of karma. Viru.
Viru.
I really don't have anything to add on to that, and that is what Swami has said, and you have shared Swami's messages. At a practical level is what Judy has said, and what Sharon and all of us know is, and both Dr. Reddy also has said, I just chant Swami's name and keep my head and mind turned towards him as much as possible. I think if with that I do an action, then I hope and I pray to him that Swami, even if it's a good action, because even a good action, it still binds you. It's with a golden chain, but still a chain. That's what Swami says. So the only way to get rid of all these chains is just offer everything at his feet. That is the toughest, because it's not when you're doing different activities, to remember that, to do it at all times that I'm offering it, I find that the toughest. And so I keep reminding, by having some good company around me, by having Namasmarana or Sai Bhajans or some Sai activity all the time, and remembering this as well, that I give everything to him. That helps me do that, and I hope I don't get any further karma.
Very practical and useful answers for this. So the last point that Dr. Viru mentioned is worth repeating, and this is the same point that Swami has put in the Gita Vahini. Katritva and Bhaktitva, that means you are enjoying or you are doing. As long as you think you want the results of your karma or you are doing the karma, then the karma fall comes back to bind you. If you offer it at Swami's divine lotus feet and say, you take this, this is your work, I've done my best, then that karma fall cannot bind you because you are released from that karma fall. So those are the practical ways I think we can try to get rid of our karma, at least from now on. The second question is a very interesting question and important one. And there are books written on this actually. So let me pose the question. What are the ways to control our mind and thoughts?
Hearts?
What are the ways to control our mind and our thoughts? As we know, Swami has said that the mind is a bundle of thoughts, and if you remove the mind, then you erase the ego. Ladies first, or if you want to pass.
I'm not good at this answer because I can't control my thoughts. So until I'm there, I can't talk about it. But I guess all the things that we've been saying over and over and over and over and over again today, you know, fill your mind. The thoughts are going to come. Once our daughter said, "Oh, Baba, I have such bad thoughts." She said, "Bad thoughts, but good girl. I will help." So we're all good, but we have bad thoughts. We have angry thoughts. Boy, if I turn on and watch politics, I can get so intensely upset. Ask Sam. He says, "Calm down and let's turn it off because you can have a heart attack." You know, I get really reactive, you know, to what's going on, the political. I don't know why. I guess I'm a political animal in some way. Or I feel it intensely. But then you just can you can't stop them because they're there. So like we've been saying, you bring in the good thoughts, you read something good. I think what you do is you go for a walk. You do exercise. I always stress to people, be active. I love to dance. I go to dance class twice a week. I love it. It lifts my spirit. Find something creative to do that takes your mind off of the thought and try to bring it into a creative field, other than, you know, the usual thing, reading Baba and listening to the bhajans and all of that. But then do something on your own. You know, find what gives you joy and then immerse yourself in it. And then you'll find the thoughts will, at least temporarily, they'll float away because your mind is focused on something positive, creative, something that gives you joy and lifts up your life and makes you happy. And then if you keep at it, I'm still working on it. I think we probably all are, even if we really honestly admit it, those thoughts creep in, but then we can't control them. We can just gently push them out the door, you know, by supplanting them with goodness. Jay, Sairam.
It would be difficult to add to that. That's wonderful. Replacing thoughts that aren't helpful need to be replaced with something positive. I would hope that with lots of practice it becomes habit, ingrained, so that they just don't come anymore. And working on it.
Thank you. Dr. Reddy?
So what is mind? Swami said that mind is a bundle of thoughts. As long as we have thoughts, we have mind. Swami gives the example of take a handkerchief. Handkerchief is made up of what? Threads. Go on taking thread after thread, the handkerchief disappears. Similarly, the whole mind is bundle of thoughts. And the whole secret of spiritual life is the mind. Swami says, mind is the one responsible for bondage. Mind is responsible also for liberation. And Swami makes it so simple, gives the example of a key. You turn to one side, what happens? Locks. You turn the other side, it unlocks. Similarly, you turn the mind towards world, material objects, sensual objects, we get grief, bondage, suffering. You turn towards God, divinity, it gives you joy, peace, and happiness. So the whole secret is in the mind. How do you control the mind? If it turns towards God, like we are having the satsang, singing bhajans, doing service, reading his scriptures. These are all turning towards God. Whereas if you turns toward the world, have gossip, rumors, interested, going to the movies, gambling, all these negative things, they bind us, pursuit of senses. So it is left in our hands. And the best example is in Gita. Lord Krishna was asked by Arjuna, Master, I can control the air, I can hold the air in my hand, but this mind I can't control what to do. So like we all ask, he asked the question on our behalf. And Lord Krishna says, beautiful, asamshayam mahabhav, no doubt my son, it is very difficult to control. God himself is telling, no doubt it is difficult to control mind. He says two things, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena gruhyate. By two things you can control mind. Abhyasa and vairagya, constant practice. Mind goes there, hey, come back. Constant practice. Second is vairagya, detachment from the worldly things. By these two things, you can control the mind. We were with Swami, this was about 20 years ago in the interview room. There was a young girl, about 10-year-old girl, she said, she was very sincere. Swami, bad thoughts, Swami, I can't control my mind. She was going on. Swami was so kind, listen, first ignoring, but finally yielded. Okay, child, Bangaru, like she said, so just watch the mind. Don't try to catch the mind. So when you try to catch, like he gave the example, little child, naughty child is going around, you want to catch it, he will run here and there. Okay, go wherever you want, just you watch it, it comes back. Similarly, in the thoughts, just be a witness, don't get involved. And also, Swami gave an example, you are in your house, a truckload of jasmine flowers goes in front of your house. You get a beautiful smell. And then next, a truckload of garbage goes in front of your house. You get a dirty smell. But that is in the air, you are not affected. Just you watch, one time the negative things go, another time positive things. Just be a witness. So try to watch the mind and just observe. First try the thoughts, negative thoughts into positive thoughts. But even as I said, positive thoughts can bind you to. Ultimately, we should go beyond the mind. Swami says, Mano Nasha. First is still the mind, then finally kill the mind. So in the beginning, we need to still the mind, not agitate it. But ultimately, a stage will come when no mind, then there is no block between you and God. Completely, you are one with God. And for you interested people, there is a Swami gave a series of discourses. In Telugu, it is called Manasu Marmamu, Mind and Its Mystery. It came in the form of a book, right? And I was lucky, fortunate to attend those discourses. I think probably given about 30 years ago in Prashanthi Nilayam. It is beautiful for spiritual seekers, mind and its mystery. Read that because that is one which gives us all trouble. So if you don't want to have a monkey mind, Swami's mind is a monkey mind. Not only monkey mind, drunken monkey. So it's already monkey, jumps around, it drunk, what happens? And not only drunken monkey mind, if somebody pinches the monkey, it jumps even more. So to control the mind, he gave the secrets. So these are the Swami's message.
Very little to add again. I mean, you started the question by saying this is a problem where so many books have been written. And so it's going to be a long, explanations for these things. But I again, from all of this, I look at the practical side of what can I do about it. I can't be saying I want to control my mind. I don't want to see this TV. I don't want to do this, yet be sat in front of the TV all the time. I need to get out of that place and engage this mind in something else. So one of the reasons one of the ways in which I tend to, control or divert the mind is by putting that energy into something positive. And that in itself, at that time, I don't think I have to control the mind. In fact, there is a discourse that Swami has given, I think it is the 13th of October 2002. I made a little mention of this morning where Swami talks about Dakshinamurti and how there is Jiva and there is Deva and how the mind is. And there Swami says everybody blames this mind as the monkey mind, as this mind and all negative to it. actually this mind is endowed with great qualities. He talks about the positive qualities of the mind, and he says it is the vehicle that will get you across to the, to merge with the divinity. So I think, and there was a discourse in 1993 in Thrive Vrindavan. Swami was talking to students in a series for about good 20 days or 25 days. You might have been there. Professor Bhaskar was definitely there. I happened to be there at that time. And for the first time ever, I heard Swami talk about conquering the mind. He was not talking about controlling the mind. He was talking about conquering the mind. And I think that is where you just said that you don't just still it, but a phase where you've completely killed it. There is a state of no mind. Mano Nasha. So there are various mysteries to it, and the way I feel from personal experience I can talk would be to do the vairagya, which is, Lord Arjuna says, Lord, it's very difficult to practice. It's so difficult. And then say, but I've given you a solution, right? He says, what is the solution? He says, well, renunciation is the solution for that. So if I have to get my mind out of the chaos that happens around me, then I can't be involved in it. I have to sacrifice that bit and then go into some, into solitude. Not, you don't need to go into a forest, or we don't need to go into some Himalayas or something, which the sages did because they were pretty serious about what they were wanting to do. But in our daily lives, I think at least a bit of solitude where you're able to spend the time with the Lord, I hope that will help me manage my mind to an extent before I come to either killing it or conquering it. But those are the ways in which I could do something.
Wonderful answers from all four panelists. Very nice. I highly recommend the book that Dr. Reddy mentioned to you, The Mind and Its Mysteries. And it's all Swami's discourses, Swami's words in it. My wife Sujata brought it from Prashanti about 3 or 4 trips ago, and it couldn't put it down. It's a first step to understanding the mind, and this is Swami's perspective. Next question is probably the theme of the drama that San Diego presented today. So let me repeat this question. When we feel things are not going right in all respects, how can one get the strength and patience to hold on to Swami when he is not in his physical presence?
Well, when we were with Baba, with our daughters, one of the girls asked, Baba, how can we feel close to you when you're so far away? And he said, talk to me. Talk to me all the time. Give me your pain. I mean, I think that's, other than all the other things that we've been constantly reiterating and repeating here, I think to have an ongoing conversation with him and look like Amrit did in our skit. He will come, he will jump out, he will surprise you, but look for him in way, he's unexpected. He will come even if you wake up and there's this glorious morning when it's so pure and beautiful, you say, okay, Baba, that's beauty, that's going to help me get through the day. Don't give up. I mean, also look for practical solutions when it's really down. Talk to someone. Talk to Baba, but then find a person who can, a counselor or a friend, a relative, someone you trust, and engage that person and open up your heart. And you'll be amazed that when we communicate and talk to one another. When we went to Baba, we've gone to Baba a lot over the years, and we said, Baba, what about the schools? They're so difficult. What do we do? Should we send our daughters to private school? He said, because they're so bad. He said, oh, no, the schools are all the same. He said, you have to talk to your children. You don't know what they're thinking. So I think this emphasis on communication, and as he said this, here he's telling a family of psychiatrists to talk to your children, and not talk to them, actually listen to them and find out. So this idea of listening to one another and sharing with one another. But then as he was talking, I had this thought, Baba, and I was thinking, what if it were not for you? This was a thought. And he interrupted and said, yes, if it were not for me, all would be lost. And Sam and I shuddered when he said it. Was so much power. And we knew that the presence of God. We are so graced. That is our amazing grace, like the song, that He's in our lives, that we have Him, and we can Him, meaning in any form or formless, or how we engage with God, but we can engage with Him, her, and then and keep the conversation going, and then eventually don't give up, because He will come. He will show Himself. He will lift you. It will be unexpected. He'll give you a little gift, a little gesture that, yes, I'm working with you. You just have to go through this pain, but then it's good for you and you'll come through it. Jay, Saira.
Jody? No?
The question is about when everything seems to be going wrong. How do you maintain? When everything seems to be going wrong, what's the alternative? I mean, the alternative to hanging on to Baba and turning to Him is simply abysmal. It's the abyss. There's nothing else, and He is our very self, so it's always listening, always present. I don't know. We have many friends who have no notion of God or reject that notion. I really don't know how they manage on days like that. They have nothing to hang on to, and that's when it does occur to me how lucky I am. I know where to go. And even if I can't, at that moment I'm too distressed to feel it, it works.
Thank you. Very practical answers, Dr. Reddy.
So first, thinking Swami is not there, I feel sad anybody says that, because He was there, He is there right now with us here, He will be there with us forever. So let us always, this is for me like a ingrained, He is our eternal companion. He's there for us all the time. His people, you go, Jesus Christ is not there. If you tell the Christians, they'll get mad. He was there 2,000 years ago. He's there. Devotees of Rama, he says he's gone. He's still, people feel His presence. So divinity is always present. When we say omnipresent, He's there everywhere. How can we say He's not there? He's always here. And depends upon our love for Him, intensity, the longing, we can feel His presence. Last year I was going around the world. I heard innumerable stories how still people feel the presence. Not only feeling the presence, they literally see Swami. One lady in Bogota, Colombia, I met. She was in her meditation. She was in Caracas, Venezuela. She literally sees Swami, not a vision. Literally coming, she was so damn scared. Swami was there. What do you want? And she said, Swami, I want this for my friend. This. Swami said, don't talk about your friend, talk about yourself. So it's really Swami literally talks. Another young man, in same thing happened in Munich, Germany. I was there. So Swami, even now, if you have genuine love, longing, intense desire, He presents. So He said that 11 seconds, intensely think of me, I will be there with you. We need to go back to His discourses. And God, if you think He is God, His words are truth. His name is Satya Sai Baba. Satya, we should have trust. He will be with us. Didn't you all hear that 11 seconds? Wherever you are, whenever you are, wherever you are, whenever you think of, I will be with you. So that is one. And second is to be in tune with Him. Two things ladies have already communicated. Number one, constantly practice His presence. For me, in the morning I get up, Swami got up with me, He's blessing me. Then He go to me with my bathroom. Then He eats with me my breakfast. He drives with me next to me in the car. He is with me when I'm seeing my patient next to me, guiding me. When I come home, He is with me. Constantly take Him as your constant companion and talk to Him like a friend. Swami, this is the problem. I don't know what to do. Guide me or thank me if something is good. Constantly communication with Him, constantly practicing His presence. Then nothing matters. Actually, there is no difficulties. Another affirmation I get, all is well. Go on repeating, all is well. He says, everything is good for me. There is a nice book, All is Well. Everything is fine. So that is like a mantra, all is well. Go on repeating, all is well. Another one, Swami's mantra is, this too shall pass. I will tell you what Swami said. Those great Pandava, Pandava stories. I heard Sam is expert in Gita and Mahabharata, right, Sam? So they went through so many troubles and difficulties being lovers of God, and they didn't understand. And he wanted a mantra. Everybody wants a mantra nowadays. So a little letter he gave and fold it up and said, when you are really most down situation, look at it. That is what Lord Krishna told Dharmaraja. So when they were going through the troubles after troubles after troubles, one day was very low and down. Then he looked, what is this mantra? Now I cannot stand this problem. He opened it. There in Telugu, Swami says, Idi eppudu undadu. This too shall pass. So if you go on remembering this, pleasures come and go, pains come and go. You constantly remember these little formulas. All is well. This is good for me. This too shall pass. So nothing matters. So then you really always in that joy and bliss. Sairam.
Dr. Viru?
Very little to add. Can I just ask that question again? Just the first part of it I thought was slightly different, is it? If you don't mind.
The question is, when we feel things are not going right in all respects, how can one get the strength and patience to hold on to Swami when he's not in his physical presence? So one of the key questions is when Swami is not here.
And also, that I think everybody, Dr. Reddy and all of you have answered. I just feel, even the strength and the patience to hold on to it. And that even when he was there, we needed that strength and patience. When I say there, in the physical form when Swami was there, even then you needed the strength and the patience. Because if you went and sat in front of him with some of the dire problems that you've had, he would sometimes ignore you. But the strength was needed, the patience was needed at all times. That is to fortify our spiritual journey by saying that what Dr. Bhaskar said this morning, you accept everything. If you are surrendering, if you want a solution from him, from Swami, be it in the physical form or in the omnipresent form, the most important thing is that we accept whatever he is doing as good for us. And I think Dr. Reddy just touched on it briefly. If I find it's Pandavas is the other thing. They just accepted whatever happened to them. Whether they were kicked out of the kingdom, whether they were in the jungles or somebody else had humiliated them, they just accepted that as the Lord is with us, He's always with us. And there was no question of patience. I mean, patience means that I am tolerant of somebody's not looking at me. It doesn't bother me if Swami doesn't look at me, because I know I am in his hands. In a way, one could say it's a journey from a monkey mind to being a kitten. A monkey mind, Swami says that the monkey holds on to the mother when she is jumping from one tree, one plant to the others, whereas the kitten is carried by God. The kitten is carried by the mother cat. So if I'm being carried by Swami, how does it matter to me what is happening around me? It just doesn't bother me. I am strong. There's no question of patience or impatience there. I am in his hands. If we constantly say that to ourselves, at least me, it gives me that confidence and that it doesn't affect me, I feel. Just go through it as if you're going through fire. Still nothing happens to you. Why? Because he is there. The Lord is there looking after me. Why should I be worried? So if we accept everything as for our own good, and if we firmly believe that he is with us, whether in the physical form or not, it just doesn't matter.
So devotion and faith, hold on to Swami's feet no matter what, and he'll get you there. Yeah. If you have that in the back of your mind, bottom of your heart, you'll get there. Okay, next question. How do we know the kind of work that Baba wants us to do? Let me repeat. How do we know the kind of work that Baba wants us to do?
Okay, this is good for me because I asked Baba that. No, years ago, I said, I don't know what I was saying, but But I said, Baba, one of the first trips, can I do more? Here I was, a mom of 4 kids, a husband going to India off him, 2 dogs, active household, and I wanted to do more. It's only because he was doing more. He was constantly doing and serving and giving. So then he said, yes, I will give you the power, the strength, and the blessing. Okay, that's good. He will give us the power, the strength, and the blessing if we all wanted, whatever work we do. So years later, I went back, what about my work, Baba? What should I do? He said, for you now, it'll come later, after the marriage of your daughters. Well, that took years. So he just put me off, but he said, soon I will give you very good work. And I thought he meant something special. I thought, wow, I'm going to get a really good work to do. He'll give me a project. And then years later, I said, Baba, what is my work? What should I do? He said, for you now, home and family. Like, oh, yes, Baba, that's what I do so well. No, that's the only thing, that's what I was doing. And then it turned out that my dad was dying of cancer, and Jack Hislop was. And they both were at the same time. They're both the same age. They're both struggling, and so they need a lot of help. But the idea, I think he told our daughter once, what work can I do? And he said, all work is God's work when it's done with love. So I think we have to think of what do we like to do? If we find joy in the work, if you serve, what if you like quilting? I don't like to quilt. So I'm not going to go to quilt. I love the quilts, but I don't have the patience. But maybe there's some other work. Maybe for some, you don't know what your work will be. It's working with the elder or with children, or you don't know. You don't have to worry about what it is. If it's done with love, it's all God's work. It's all beautiful. Jay, Syra.
Thank you. Good answer. Jody, would you like to take a...
Sharon, you give such great answers. It's hard to say anything after you. I agree, totally. That was great. I do, for myself, I always remember Baba says, do your duty. So I try to do that first. Then, I just think whatever he brings to us is menial, just as you say, whether it's menial or erudite, blissful or not. I think that whatever we do, we have to do with him in our heart, and that is what our role is for the moment. And if it's a grand role, he'll bring that. And if it's a teeny tiny, quiet, meditating in a cave, I'm sure he'll direct that.
Thank you. Dr. Reddy?
Swami says, all good work is God's work. So any good work we do is God's work. But some people ask me, how do I know it is good work? Sometimes it is clear, sometimes it is not clear, good work or not. So I asked this question to Swami. As Veer was telling, sometimes you go to Swami, Swami, I want this answer to do this, not to do this. Sometimes he gives answers. Sometimes you may be there, he will ignore you. Swami is the embodiment of perfection. Whatever he does perfectly. Even ignores you, perfect. He will talk to the person left to you, right to you, behind you, before you. You don't even exist, he sees through you. So he may not call you even if you are there. And even if he calls us for interview, in the interview you want to ask the question, he will make you forget that. So you may not be able to ask the question. So I said, Swami, this happens. Sometimes I cannot come to Prashanti. I have this thing, know what to do. Then Swami gave an answer which is applicable to all. Just sit in a corner in your puja room, any place, pray intensely to the Lord for 20 minutes like Arjuna prayed to Krishna. Lord, I don't know what is good, what is not good. Please guide me. Please show me the right thing, and he will show you what is the good work. So that is how we to do that, because we don't know, we think, and whatever she was telling, menial work, there is nothing like menial or superior. I will tell you 2 friends who have went through. One of our friends is a doctor, very successful doctor in a place called Nellore in India. So Swami went there, he was well received, and Swami said, what should I do? Swami, shall I come to Prashanti? Yeah, come. He sold all his wind up, his busy practice, he sold everything, and he come to Prashanti Nilayam to serve in the Swami's hospital. Swami doesn't look at him. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month passed, this guy is getting restless. He was a busy doctor, seeing patients. Swami told him to come. Swami doesn't even look at him, doesn't talk to him. Then finally he sent a message, Swami, what should I do? Because Swami doesn't talk to him. He sent the in-charge person, Kutumbarao. I want to do something, I'm getting really, he says, tell him to sell tickets in the canteen. So this doctor was busy, he was selling tickets in the canteen because to show Swami all work is God's work. Another one, he was the Kutumbarao, he was a magistrate, he was a big, like a judge, actually he was a sub-judge in Queens, and Swami said the same thing, come and serve me. When he goes there, Swami, for 1 month, 2 months, he doesn't look. Finally he asks, Swami, what should I do? Put the stamps on the Sanatana Sarthi. When you are mailing, those days they need to put the stamps and sell. So why I'm telling is, God is teaching us a lesson. Don't think only seeing patients is great service. Being a judge and giving judgment is great. Even selling canteens in the canteens tickets or putting stamps is also God's work. Any good work is God's work.
The second question is, by doing this, am I hurting anybody? To these two questions, if you have got a clear conscience answer, then that is good work. If you do good work, that is God's work, and my blessings are there with you. So the ball is in our court. It's not in Swami's court. It's in my court. When I'm starting some work, why is it I'm doing? Am I doing it to show off myself, or am I doing it to show down somebody else, or is it that there is no need, but I still want to go there so that I'm in the limelight, whatever. But I think we need to examine the motive behind what we are doing, and then make sure that we don't hurt anybody in this process. That kind of work, I think Swami would appreciate and accept. The other thing is, when Hanuman and Vibhishana, these are two great devotees of Rama, and both they have spent their lives in chanting Rama's name all the time. So Vibhishana asks Hanuman, how come, my dear friend, you too chant and I too chant, but you seem to be sitting by the feet of the Lord, and He is giving you His grace, His time, His everything. And how come I am here sitting somewhere else in this place called Lanka, and I don't have any physical proximity, I don't seem to have that grace of God? And then Hanuman asks him, my dear brother, did you chanted the name of the Lord? Fine, great. Did you do any work for the Lord? The mother Sita was imprisoned or put in that garden called Ashokavana. Did you go once and ask her, Mother, how are you feeling? Or Mother, what can I do for you? Mother, is there something that I can make to make your this difficult life a little bit easier? Did you do anything of that sort? Nothing you did. You didn't go and participate in any work that mother needed. It is Lord's work. And if you don't do that kind of work, then I don't think we would be eligible, that what work Swami would like. I don't think that so in this world, in Swami's mission, by Swami's mission, I just don't mean just our organization. Our organization is an important aspect of it. It is a validated vehicle that Swami himself has started. Within the organization, for all of us here, for example, there is lots of work to be done, be it in the society, be it within in our homes, in our centers, or wherever. This is the work that we need to get involved, and I think that's the work definitely Swami would accept with his, with all and give his grace upon us. But it just doesn't restrict it only to our organization. There are many other in the community, in the society. I think there was one where when Dr. Hislop was coming to Vrindavan, he was coming there and then he finds one old man or a couple really walking towards Vrindavan in a very bad shape. He stops the car, gets out of it, and goes and helps them. As soon as he goes to Swami appreciates that. And Swami says, that's well done, because it's spontaneous. There was somebody who was suffering. Spontaneously, you went and helped that person. So spontaneous work with a clear and a pure motive, work that is not hurting anybody else. These are the works that Swami would definitely like.
Thank you. Very good answers. We have a lot more questions here. Unfortunately, Rohan has given me the cut order. We are going to have to terminate, but let me tell you one thing. There have been a number of questions raised about, in the absence of Swami's physical form, about other gurus and particularly mediums. In order for us to expedite this, I'm going to request Praveen to show 2 videos of what Swami himself says about this. And this will take a couple of minutes, Praveen, right? About 1.5 minutes and 2 minutes. So if you play that, and we'll end this panel session on that note. And with that, as they're coming up, please join me in giving a round of applause for all our panelists.
అప్పటి నుంచి ఇంకా బెంగళూరు మైసూరు కార్లంతా చాలా రావటం ప్రారంభమైంది.
Since then, cars started reaching this place from Bangalore and Mysore.
కాఫీ పొడి సాకమ్మ అని ఉండేటువంటి వాడు.
There is one person by name Kafi Pudi Sakamma.
ఈ రాణి గారు కూడా ఉండేటువంటి వాడు.
There's queen or 2.
వాళ్ళందరూ వచ్చారు, స్వామి మేమందరూ ఇక్కడికి రావాలంటే చాలా కష్టంగా ఉంటున్నది, మీరే మైసూరుకి రండి, మేము ఒక ప్యాలెస్ అంతా ఇస్తాము అన్నారు.
All big people came from Mysore and Bangalore and said, Swami, we find it difficult to come to Puttaparthi. Come to Mysore, I'll give palace. Swami said, palace is not important.
కనుక నేను ఇక్కడే ఉండాలన్నాను.
I decided to stay here.
ఆనాడు రాత్రి ఈశ్వరమ్మ వచ్చి ఏడ్చింది.
That night, Ishwaramma came and
స్వామి
cried.
ఎందరో వచ్చేసేసి కోరుతున్నారు.
Swami, many are coming and praying.
వాళ్ళ స్వార్థం కోసమని,
for their selfishness,
స్వామిని ఇక్కడ రండి అక్కడ రండి అని తీసుకొని పోతున్నారు.
they want you to go there and here and there.
మీరు పుట్టపర్తి వదిలితే నేను బ్రతకను.
If you leave Puttaparthi, I don't live any longer.
కనుక మీరు పుట్టపర్తిలోనే ఉండాలి.
You should definitely stay here.
నాకు మాట ఇవ్వండి అన్నది.
Swami, make a promise to me.
నేను ఇచ్చాను మాట.
Swami promised.
ఏనాటికైనా నేను పుట్టపర్తి వదలను అని ఇచ్చేసేసాను.
Swami gave a promise to Ishwaramma. Any day, I will never leave this Puttaparthi.
అందువల్లనే పుట్టపర్తినే నేను ఇక్కడ పెద్దదిగా భవనం కట్టి వచ్చే భక్తులకు అందరికీ అనుకూలాలు పరిచి తగినటువంటి సేవలు చేస్తూ వచ్చాను.
It is for that reason all these things are built, all these constructions are made for the comforts and the conveniences of the visiting devotees.
This divine droplet is taken from the discourse delivered by Bhagavan on 21st November 1988.
మన డిసిప్లిన్ అంతా కూడా నువ్వు ప్రేమతో సంబంధించినటువంటిదిగా ఉండాలి.
All our discipline must be associated and based upon love.
మన సంస్థల యొక్క పద్ధతులన్నీ కూడా మిలిటరీ ఫోర్స్ గా ఉండకూడదు, ప్రేమ సోర్స్ గా ఉండాలి.
All the practices in our organization should not be like military force, but they must be full of love.
ప్రేమతో మాట్లాడాలి.
We should speak with love.
దోషములు ఏమైనా ఉంటే ప్రేమతోనే చెప్పాలి.
If there are mistakes, they should be pointed out with love.
అన్నింటి ఎందుకు ప్రేమతత్వాన్ని మనం అభివృద్ధి పరచుకోవాలి.
Fill with love every aspect of our life.
పురస్కరించుకుని స్టార్ట్ ది డే విత్ లవ్, స్పెండ్ ది డే విత్ లవ్, ఫిల్ ది డే విత్ లవ్, ఎండ్ ది డే విత్ లవ్. దిస్ ఇస్ ది వే టు గాడ్ అన్నారు. కనుక మనము అన్ని విధాలుగా ప్రేమతోనే జీవించాలి.
It is in this context we have said, start the day with love, fill the day with love, spend the day with love, end the day with love, and that is the way.
ప్రేమనే దైవము.
Love is God.
దైవమే సర్వత్రా ఉన్నది.
God is all pervasive.
మీరందరూ కూడా ప్రేమ స్వరూపులే.
We are all very embodiment of love.
ప్రేమతోనే జీవించండి.
Live with love.
ప్రేమతోనే సేవించండి.
Serve with love.
ప్రేమతోనే ఆనందించండి.
Enjoy with love.
ఈ ప్రేమలోనే లీనం కాండి.
And merge into love.
ఇది నిజమైన సేవ యొక్క ప్రధానమైన కర్తవ్యం.
This is the very basic duty of service.
ఇంకా మరి ఏ విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క విషయంతో కూడా సంబంధం లేకుండా సత్యసాయి సంస్థ అంతా కూడా ప్రేమ ప్రేమ ప్రేమ, అందరికీ హృదయానికి హృదయము, ప్రేమకు ప్రేమకు అందించుకుంటూ సంస్థలు అభివృద్ధి పరచాలి. కానీ ధనముతో కానీ ఇంకే విధమైన అధికారంతో కానీ మన సంస్థలో ఏమాత్రం కూడా అవకాశం ఉండరాదు.
Do not give room for either money or power in our organization. There must be love everywhere. There must be relationship based upon heart-to-heart relationship and full of love everywhere and in every area.
నాకు మందిరాలు అక్కర్లేదు.
I don't need temple.
ఆలయాలు అక్కర్లేదు.
I don't need
ఇంక దేనికోసం మనము యజ్ఞ యాగాది క్రతువులు కూడా మనకు అక్కర్లేదు.
I am not even interested in performing.
మన కర్మనే మనకు యజ్ఞము.
Our own work is.
మన సేవనే మనకు క్రతువు.
our own service is
కనుక ఈ యజ్ఞయాగాదుల పేరుతో కానీ మందిరముల పేరుతో కానీ ఇంకే విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క దీంతో పేరుతో కానీ సత్యసాయి సంస్థల లోపల ధనమును వసూలు చేసేటువంటి యొక్క ఈ దుర్గుణమును ఈనాటి నుంచి మనం మానుకోవాలి.
Right from today, we should give up totally any collections of money for the sake of either constructing the temple or undertaking.
నేను అనేక పర్యాలు నేను చెప్తూనే ఉంటున్నాను, ధనంతో మనం ఎట్టి సంబంధం కూడా ఉంటుండకూడదు, గుణంతో మనకు సంబంధం ఉంటుండాలి.
I have been telling a number of times all over that we should not have anything to do with money.
స్వామి పేరు చెప్పుకొని స్వామి అందులో ప్రవేశించాడని, స్వామి నాకేదో కొన్ని శక్తులు ఇచ్చాడని ఈ విధమైన యొక్క మార్గంలో కూడా ధనమును వసూలు చేస్తున్నారు. ఇంతకంటే ఇంకా రాక్షసులతో మరొకటి లేదు.
There are some people who claim that Swami speaks through them and Swami enters into them, and in that name they are collecting money.
ఇంతకాలమైనది నేను ఎప్పుడు కూడా ఎవరిని కూడా ఏ యొక్క విషయంలో కూడా నేను ఈ విషయంలో ఏమాత్రం ప్రవేశించలేదు.
There cannot be more demonic things than this. I have never given, I have never told anyone.
కానీ సాయి పేరును ఉపయోగపెట్టి ఈ విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క పెడమార్గంలో పట్టిస్తూ సాయికి ఒక విధమైనటువంటి యొక్క చెడ్డ పేరును తెప్పిస్తున్నారు.
Making use of Swami's name, going in the crooked path, they are getting a bad name even for Swami.
ఇది కేవలం ఒక వ్యాపార రంగంగా దీన్ని రూపొందింపజేస్తున్నారు.
They are converting this into a field of business.
నిజమే, ఇది వ్యాపారమే.
This is of course a type
ఏం
of
వ్యాపారం? ప్రేమ ఇచ్చి పుచ్చుకునేటువంటి వ్యాపారం.
What type of business should you carry on? Give love and receive love.
Swami, we hear your words. Swami, we hear your words. Thank you. And Rohan points out to me that these video clips are available at satyasai.org. satyasai.org.